Hello, I'm Chloe from the Art and Energy Collective, and over the past few years we've been working with creatives and creative organisations in Plymouth to explore climate and culture. We've produced a tool called Utopia that we hope will be really useful for you to bring your team together, to have good conversations in a really positive way about the future that we might all want to go towards, and figure out together what steps we'd like to take to get there. Have a look on our website, artandenergy.org. There you can download a free copy of our book, and hopefully it will give you some ideas and inspiration for what you could do together.
Utopia. It can sound like quite a forbidding term, I guess, quite cold and quite abstract. And I think casually it's often understood as meaning a utopia is a perfect world, a kind of finished world as well, which is, when you think about it, a bit absurd. But if you go back to the original Utopia of Thomas More, he was playing a joke with the word. It kind of means good place. It's from the Greek for good place, but it's also from the Greek for no place. It's the same sound. So sort of a good place that is no place, a good place that does not currently exist, but implicitly we could move towards. Another problem, I guess, with utopia is it depends on where you're coming from. I mean, to take an extreme example, to a Nazi in 1930s Germany, Nazism is utopian. And I guess the comeback would be, well, equally, there have been plenty of incredible world-changing humanitarian movements that have also been utopian. So it depends on the people. I think the core idea it could maybe be shrunk down to is utopia is the idea that things can still change, and they can still change very radically and very quickly. Another complication with that, though, I think, is that we know that whether we like it or not, things are going to change very radically right from now, whatever we do, and a lot of those changes are going to be scary and frightening and destructive. So maybe shrinking it even smaller to something you could kind of carry in your pocket. Utopia is a sort of pebble you can touch in your pocket. Is the idea that people can change things, people can make a difference. And that's where I think there's an inbuilt DNA overlap between utopia and creativity, because they both involve imagining what isn't currently there. They both involve making. They both, if done properly, involve empathy and listening and an openness to other people. And they both involve bringing into the world like what might be latent within it, but is currently hidden or squashed or obstructed. And so I guess I think of utopia sometimes as like you strike a tuning fork before the band strikes up and starts playing, and it just tunes you, it gets you into the right area. And then of course, from there it takes off and goes its own way. But that's, I guess, one way of thinking about or using the idea of utopia, getting away from that kind of forbidding Greek term from centuries ago and thinking about it as an impulse that is out there, and at which, any act of creativity or imagination necessarily calls upon. Because it's about making something that is different, could be different, will be different, and bringing things into the world that don't actually exist now.
I'd like to invite you to go to our website, which is packed full of ideas and recipes and tools and creative suggestions for you and your team together to explore themes of how we can make the world a better place and decide what steps you'd like to take.